Minister in the Office of the Attorney General and Legal Affairs.
Madam President, as I stand in this most august chamber for the first time, it is with a great sense of pride and humility I stand before you and the people of Trinidad and Tobago to make my contribution not only towards the Appropriation Bill 2020, but towards the development of our great nation, where no doubt, Madam President, every creed and race finds an equal place, and there is boundless faith in our destiny. Let me firstly congratulate you, Madam President, on your appointment as the President of the Senate, and sincerely thank you for the opportunity to contribute towards this bill. Madam President, Hinduism echoes Mata Pita Charana Kamale Byo Namo Nama, which is, I bow to the feet of my parents and my elders. The blessings of this world lies at their feet. Therefore, as I begin, I must put on the record and sincerely thank my political leader, our political father, and our Prime Minister, Dr. the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley, for the confidence he has in me by allowing me the blessings to serve our country in the capacity of Minister in the Office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Legal Affairs. I must also thank my line minister, the Honorable Attorney General of Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Faris Al-Rawi, for his mentorship and guidance thus far, as we are both charged with the mammoth responsibility of leading the Office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Legal Affairs. Madam President, I want to recognize and thank my father and mother. I must thank them both for leading our home by example. My father especially, whose dedication to service and the people of Trinidad and Tobago and his integrity has no doubt motivated me to aspire to enter public office and be a good human being, a good citizen to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Madam President, I felt somewhat compelled, somewhat required to aggressively respond to some of the accusations made by Senator Wade Mark on the first day of this discussion. Accusations against my government, accusations against my Honorable Prime Minister. An oppressive government, an inequitable government, an uncaring government, and a brutal assassination on the working class were some of the choice adjectives used by the senator to describe the PNM administration. But, Madam President, I shall restrain myself. I shall restrain myself because my country is looking on. Madam President, when I stand here, I recognize my responsibility to do my part to bring our nation together. I have a 13-year-old daughter and a 12-year-old son whom I want to live in a unified, united Trinidad and Tobago. Madam President, I was also brought up by my parents to focus on positivity rather than negativity, to try to build a nation rather than destroy it. And as an advocate for positivity, and aware that in the days and years to come, I will have ample opportunities to unleash the fire inside me. Today, as I begin my maiden contribution in this most honorable chamber, I will start from a place of positivity. As I report on what my ministry, as set out in head number 23 of the schedule of the bill before us here today, has done and intends to do in the years to come. And then and only then, Madam President, when I have done my government and my Prime Minister justice by representing to Trinidad and Tobago all that the government has done and intends to do, notwithstanding a pandemic, notwithstanding the fall in energy prices, then and only then will I set the record straight on some of the untruths mouted by my colleagues on the opposition bench. Madam President, I thank God I have a political leader who has urged the new ones to be measured, to be calculated. For example, if this was a game of cricket, for example, it is necessary to understand the feel. It is necessary to understand the game before I try to hit them for six. And definitely before I could become a star batsman or woman. But unfortunately in this chamber, some of the young ones in the opposition bench, in an attempt to hastily and aggressively hit for six, they're whooping right through this debate. Madam President, I will not be a victim of that. I will not embarrass myself and my government like that. The PNM are not whoopers. Madam President, I want to address something that Senator Wademark and Senator Lakshmi Dayal, and perhaps most of the opposition in another place, continues to perpetuate in the public domain. There seems to be a constant narrative amongst the opposition bench which suggests that PNM policies are designed to benefit people only from a particular geographical place or particular status in society. Not true, Madam President. There seems to be a narrative conveyed by the opposition that central to South constituencies and people are neglected by the PNM administration. More untruths, Madam President. Madam President, I humbly submit to our population, the election is over. But the PNM, at the PNM, we are an empathetic party. To the supporters of the UNC and other political groups in our great democratic nation, we acknowledge your pain and disappointment in the election results. We understand that your pain and discomfort is real to you. For like our supporters, you would have wanted the success of your party. We acknowledge this and we do not intend to rub salt in your wounds. That is not the modus operandi at the PNM. Madam President, however, what I do submit to Trinidad and Tobago is that we are an intelligent people. And let us not allow the negative noise that continually seeks to divide us to continue. Let us drown that noise. Throughout the length and breadth of this budget debate, too many times I've heard suggestions being made that PNM policies are inequitable. Madam President, this document I have in my hand is the Constitution of the PNM. At page 3 of the Constitution, we find aims and objectives of a political organization. There are 13 of them. My dear Trinidad and Tobago, at number 9 reads, equality for all and a career open to talent. It did not say equality of opportunities for those who support the PNM. It did not say equality of opportunity for those of a particular race. It did not say equality of opportunities for those who look in a certain way. It did not say equality of opportunities for those who live in a particular place. It says, as long as you're a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, you are guaranteed equality, notwithstanding creed, notwithstanding race, notwithstanding any other social construct. Once there's equality of opportunity, Madam President, then every one of us starts at an even foot. Therefore, we have to go no further than this document to conclude that no part of PNM policy speaks to discrimination. Any policy that the PNM has put into place, if it has to stay true and keep faith with the founding fathers who created our great party, no aspect of PNM policy could ever suggest or encourage discrimination or disharmony in our great nation. The 2020 budget, like every other policy created by the PNM, was predicated on a fundamental belief as a party, which is for all the people, with a key focus on youth, the most vulnerable in our society, and even agriculture. So, Madam President, I must begin by saying and respectfully submitting to my country, my dear country, that the PNM cares for all. And while we did not have a magic wand, as the opposition seems to believe, to miraculously create money from out of the sky, what we have done is use what we did have to make life better for every single citizen, irrespective of social class, creed, or race. So, as I begin my contribution towards the appropriation bill, I must put on the record my unequivocal support for the national budget and congratulate the Minister of Finance and congratulate him for continuing to do more with less. as he continues to steer the economic trajectory of our nation. I must also put on the record my recognition and support for the Minister of Planning and Development, the Honorable Camille Robinson Regis, and her team of technocrats for the contribution to the bill before us. Madam President, the Office of the Attorney General and Legal Affairs, as this honorable chamber may be aware, is an amalgamation of the Ministry of the Attorney General, Legal Affairs, and the Ministry of Justice, which now stands today as the Office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Legal Affairs. This amalgamation brought together almost 21 departments, 13 statutory boards, 1,840 employees, and an indirect coordination between the Police Complaints Authority and the judiciary. The Office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Legal Affairs has a multitude of functions, ranging from the litigation of Trinidad and Tobago, commercial transactions, registration of the people of Trinidad and Tobago statistical information, records from birth to death and thereafter. At our ministry, I wish to note our expenditure set out for this year is significantly reduced. If we look at the past, for example, under the UNC administration, for example, and their financial history of running combined ministries, one would see the significant disparity between their figures and our government's figures. 314 odd million is our budgeted sum. This is near to 200 million less than what the UNC government managed the same combined ministry with. Then, they did so with approximately $515 odd million during their tenure, Madam President. Madam President, with all these figures jumping up here, the question is, what can the people of Trinidad and Tobago say has been purchased or has been done to benefit them with the spent money? Madam President, approximately 144 million of this budgeted sum pays salaries alone. That is why at the Office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Legal Affairs, we can boast to date, not one public servant was sent home, notwithstanding a pandemic. Further, notwithstanding operating with less money, we have managed to grow the ministry in several areas. When we assess the work at AGLA, I will jump into areas of improvement, those items next on deck, and those matters affecting the lives of our people. In 2015, Madam President, the Honorable Attorney General was first charged with pulling the reins of these three entities together. To bring these moving parts together, it was imperative to develop a strategy to effectively manage the marriage of these moving parts. The strategy the Honorable Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi adopted was taking control of his ministry from the perspective of plant and machinery, people, processes, and the law. Madam President, over the last 5 years, the Office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Legal Affairs have no doubt had many, many, many wins, as our Attorney General's mantra is now operationalized in every nook and cranny of our ministry. Congratulations again to my line minister. You have my support, and together we will make our ministry even greater than it presently is. I will now continue to report on what has happened and will continue to happen in our ministry. I will begin with legal affairs. The Ministry of Legal Affairs deals with primarily all the transactional business and statistical information of our citizenry. In 2015, we inherited inconvenient facilities, outdated processes, and even the prevalence of criminal activity and fraud in the department. How did we improve it? Firstly, our Attorney General and government moved from a dingy South Key office to government campus. We also, Madam President, increased the capacity and human resource at our ministry. In January 2020, we had an increase in human resource from permanent contract and temporary contract by 75%. New positions were created. Legal officers, paralegals, administrative staff, information technology staff all moved from temporary and short-term employment to even full-time contract. Madam President, now the Registrar General's Department is one of the divisions within our ministry, comprising of 3 registries, namely the Civil, the Land, and the Land Registry. The Company, Land, Civil, and Land Registry. This department, Madam President, has been seeking ways to improve its service delivery and is cognizant that customer service, staff expertise, technological advancement is paramount. To this end, a number of online services have been launched by the Registrar General's Department. I will closely examine some of these departments. For example, in the land registry, there has been significant positive changes in the land registry. In the last fiscal year, the Registrar General's Department registered 126,208 documents in the land registry. We have had a number of online services, for example, a land document e-filing application. This application, Madam President, is a web interface which facilitates the electronic submission of data relative to land records prior to filing at the RG's department. Madam President, what does this do? This gives attorneys the convenience of preliminary submission of data, allowing them for a faster processing time by the time they enter the Registrar General's Department. Madam President, we also continue to take steps towards the improvement of our service delivery. The Land Registry has also launched an e-certified copies application. This new application allows practitioners, lawyers, to apply and pay for their certified copies online and even specify which one of our 4 offices they would want to receive the certified copies, or even indicate an address that they would want these copies to be delivered to. Greater news, Madam President, greater news, Trinidad and Tobago, is that this month, the Land Registry has launched a new information technology solution known as the Property Business Registration Solution. When launched, and it has been launched, this new application will replace the current application currently being used, known as the Property Information Management System and the Real Property Act online system. This is yet another initiative geared towards improving our service delivery through the expansion of our e-services, which is in keeping with our overall objectives highlighted earlier. Madam President, I wish to report sensitization and training for our stakeholders in the use of the PBRS has begun. And I wish to report that the training has begun only about 2 days ago. And already the numbers of attorneys at law who have reached out to us is phenomenal. For example, Madam President, on the first day of our training, which was October 22nd, 2020, 163 attorneys at law were trained, 53 clerks and abstractors, 15 law clerks. Carded for today, as we speak, 249 attorneys at law are being trained in that system, 79 clerks and abstractors, 13 law clerks. So when Senator Lakshmi Dayal, in her contribution, spoke about the inadequacy at the Registrar General's Department and spoke on behalf of lawyers who were complaining that that this system, they were not being trained, it begs the question, who are the attorneys at law that Senator Lakshmi Dayal spoke about? Because the statistics indicate in Tunapuna we have had 5 attorneys at law, San Fernando 8, Port of Spain 39, Shagona 17 lawyers, Marabella we have had lawyers being trained, Manzanilla, Labre, Tobago, Princess Tong, La Romaine, and the list goes on the number of attorneys at law who are accessing this online system. So again, when an attempt is made to mislead this nation that attorneys at law are complaining, it begs the question, who are the attorneys at law? Because clearly the attorneys at law are coming online, coming on board, and utilizing this training system. Title clerks and government agencies, Madam President, will continue to receive training because over 500 additional persons had indicated their interest in this, in utilizing this system. In the Civil Registry Department, for example, in the last fiscal year, the Registrar's General Department processed 337,507 applications for vital records. Quite notably, Madam President, 40,156 of these online applications were from citizens residing outside of Trinidad and Tobago. So when they come and when the opposition bench knocks the ease of doing business, this statistics is an indicator that we are also improving the ease of doing business for citizens outside of Trinidad and Tobago. Because as I said, out of this 40,156, this is 10% of the entire sum are from citizens outside of Trinidad and Tobago using our registry online application to make their applications for their vital records. Madam President, at the Office of the Attorney General and Legal Affairs, we have also introduced the electronic payment platform and the online registration of births. In the last fiscal year, the Registrar General's Department registered 8,470 businesses and incorporated 4,276 companies. 57,261 post-incorporation documents were filed, and 2,684 additional business registration documents were filed. So again, when I hear the complaint that the Ministry of Legal Affairs is not operated, when I hear the complaint that we are not improving the ease of doing business for the citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, again, it begs the question, who are the people that are complaining? Now, Madam President, in defense to this end, in defense of our Registrar General, I must stand in the defense of the department and the Registrar General and the staff at AGLA, those especially who show social responsibility. And while working remotely, they continue to work. From our cashiers, who are our frontline workers, to our security guards, who through this pandemic has had to interface with the public, to our cleaners who have constantly kept the place sanitized and clean. On behalf of my Attorney General and myself, I say thank you, thank you, thank you. To all our professional and administrative staff, thank you. I want to, however, Madam President, assure our stakeholders that your Attorney General and your minister in the Ministry of the Attorney General is working assiduously to improve some of the areas you have complained to us about. To all our stakeholders, we thank you for your patience with us thus far. And rest assured that we are doing everything humanly possible to bring resolve to your concerns and areas of improvement you want to see at the Ministry of Legal Affairs. At the same time, though, again, I repeat, I must stand in the defense of my Registrar General and her staff, who are not sitting by idly, but every single day since I have assumed office, I have personally witnessed the department brainstorming and attempting to rectify and find resolve for all of your concerns. Madam President, I wish to report on the Office of the Attorney General. In 2015, we were plagued with some of the following problems: delayed justice system, insufficient courts, no division of courts, insufficient judicial officers, insufficient prosecutions, insufficient defense attorneys, and the list goes on. As a result, again, the Honorable Attorney General strategically addressed these problems using his mantra, plant and machinery, people, processes, and the law. So in an effort to rectify some of these issues, as I mentioned above, we did, or the Attorney General and his then minister did the following. There was significant improvement in the criminal justice system, contrary to what the opposition tries to say to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. We have brought notable improvements to the judiciary, for example. There were increased courts. Madam President, we dedicated resources towards the creation of over 100 new courtrooms throughout the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago. This meant greater access of justice to the population. Since access to justice necessitates access to a physical location, that is why we moved on a drive to create courtrooms. In addition, Madam President, as I said, we increased courtrooms for magisterial high court matters. There was a dedicated family court and children court and even virtual court. At the prisons, the government has approved additional accommodation to be outfitted specifically for the conduct of jury trials. The introduction, Madam President, of the virtual courts at the prison, while enabling the conduct of matters during COVID-19, it also bypasses the expenses of physical attendance. What this does, Madam President, is it saves taxpayers thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars by not having to bring prisoners to court. Madam President, at the Office of the Attorney General, we strengthened the judiciary by passing a spate of legislation which allowed us to increase the judiciary's capacity. Legislation was passed to increase the number of high court judges, for example, from 36 to 64. and the number of court appeal judges from 12 to 15. Legislation was passed to provide for full judicial immunity for magistrates as well, akin to high court judges, which essentially prevents, Madam President, a flood of litigation that would impede the judicial system and promotes greater efficiency, as magistrates would not have to be overcautious or timid in making decisions that could impair their independent and impartial adjudication. Madam President, as it relates to judicial support staff, the government approved the creation of over 1,000 new job positions in the criminal, family, and children divisions of court, which will directly impact on the speed and the productivity at which our courts are able to, and our courts output. Long before COVID-19, our forward-thinking Attorney General saw the need to bring massive improvement to the court's technology. The digitization of the judiciary, Madam President, allowed for the migration from a document to a content management and initiated customer relations management to improve the quality of justice, access to justice, and public trust and confidence in our institution. Electronic court management saw the creation of such various platforms to improve efficiency and document processing as well. Madam President, I wish to report to our country, we introduced the court order payment system. It's an online system for making and receiving court-ordered payments in and out of court. I recall in a previous incarnation, I would have had clients complaining, for example, when they had to make their maintenance payments and line up in long lines. When these systems were introduced, as practitioners of the law, one would appreciate how this would have benefited our clients significantly from not having to face lines to pay, to make maintenance payments and so on. Madam President, legislatively, we saw the electronic payment, as I said before, in and out of courts through the Act, the payments into and out of court Act 2018. Madam President, we had court mail, which was introduced. It's a secure medium for the electronic creation and certification, signing and transmission of court orders, judgments and notices between the courts and the attorneys, prisons, police and prisons. As a practitioner in a previous incarnation, that was something that I welcomed, and I know my colleagues at the bar welcomed, because it meant that from the comfort of your office, orders of the courts were sent to you. You did not have to wait for an order to be posted to you. And these are digital benefits. These are modernization attempts taken by the Attorney General during his tenure to improve systems. And again, I will beat it. The ease of business, the ease of doing business, at our ministry. We also had the audio digital voice transcription software for making recordings of the court proceedings more efficient. Again, in a previous incarnation, I can say as a practitioner of the law, at the end of a trial, most attorneys at law, you await the transcription evidence to assist you in being able to document your closing submissions. Practitioners of the law will tell you that. And sometimes the line and the queue you have to wait in order to receive this transcription, sometimes you are able to meet with the court's deadline to submit closing submissions. Worse yet if your clients want to appeal a matter. But since we have had this software introduced, attorneys at law, especially practitioners who run trials and understand the adversities sometimes in doing a trial, would indicate to you that this software has incredibly facilitated us in allowing us to have access to this transcription evidence almost at the snap of our fingers. So again, I must commend the Attorney General and the then ministers for the work they have done in introducing this software and certainly assisting practitioners of law and citizens of this country. Madam President, we created divisions of court, civil, criminal, and family and children courts, supplemented by specialized rules of court. Through legislative mechanisms, specialized court structures we created with accompanying rules aimed at improving efficiency, specialized procedures, staff and judges reducing an exorbitant amount of backlog within the court. Madam President, anchoring exclusive jurisdiction for the areas of law to enhance uniformity of decisions in those areas, thereby contributing, Madam President, to greater predictability and confidence in the courts, and possibly reducing even appeal rates. So, Madam President, certainly at the Office of the Attorney General, a lot has been done. Madam President, Senator Lakshmi Dayal knocked again the government for the DPP being understaffed and having a lack of resources. Well, I will say to Trinidad and Tobago, since I have assumed office as the Minister in the Office of the Attorney General, I have hit the ground running like all of our government ministers. I have already to date reached out to the DPP and other heads within our ministry and indicated to his respectful office, my intent on visiting every single department that falls under the office of the DPP. The DPP has indicated his availability, and it is my intention, with the blessings of my Attorney General, to visit these offices so that we can see as a government what other areas of support or further areas of support we can lend to his office. But I will say this, Trinidad and Tobago, respectfully, before my assuming office in the Office of the Attorney General, my predecessors had already blazed a trail for me to follow through. So, for example, again, the Attorney General, he worked with the DPP to improve their plant and machinery, people, processes, and the law. The Office of the DPP received substantial resources in order to increase their capacity, their plant and machinery. The Gulf City Lowlands office opened in July 2018. The North Office, Park Street in Port of Spain, UDCOT handed that building over in August 2020. The South Office, Gulf City, at Gulf View, it's being built out, and the lease is finalized and ready to do a handover by 2020. We increased the staff at the DPP's office. State councils 1 and 2 were hired, 27 to 40% increase. More positions to be occupied after the delivery of the building, of course, and that, of course, will be a cabinet's decision. Madam President, at the Office of the DPP, we also improve IT solutions. The introduction of a case management system, the harmonization between the DPP, the TTPS, Public Defender's Office, and the judiciary was also something this PNM administration was able to achieve. And don't talk about the spate of legislation empowering police prosecutors to do pre-trial hearings. Prosecutors, including police prosecutors. What this did, Madam President, was put less strain on DPP prosecutors. So therefore, again, it amazes me when Senator Lakshmi Dayal spoke about this government's neglect of the DPP department. This evidence is a clear indicator to Trinidad and Tobago that this is furthest from the truth. Madam President, for those who were denied justice because they could not afford a defense counsel, we sought to improve that. We saw the creation of the Public Defender's Office. And that for me, that is a significant win, especially in a previous incarnation being a defense counsel. What this means is that the establishment of the Public Defender's Department, it provides a pool of state-paid defense attorneys readily available to represent accused persons. Where counsel of choice is not available, counsel will be provided to the accused to ensure that the matter proceeds. This is indeed a benefit to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. At the Public Defender's Office, we have had the Stanmore Avenue Nedco building also delivered. With respect to our capacity, Cabinet approved 51 employment positions comprising of 30 legal officers ranging from a head to a junior, and 24 legal positions filled to date. What I understand at the Office of the Public Defender's Office, there's also ongoing training scheduled to commence from the Judicial Education Institute and the Atlanta Public Defender's Department. And I wish to report to Trinidad and Tobago that is to no cost to us as a nation. I also understand, as I indicated earlier, it's my intention as the line minister to visit all of the departments that fall under us. I believe that we cannot, and like all of my other government colleagues, minister colleagues, we do not believe in running a government just from our offices. We believe that we have to get down on the ground and understand what the people and our charges are enduring. So again, I have also reached out to the Public Defender's Office, and it's my intention It's our intention to go to this public defender's office and visit them and see what other areas of support we can lend. I am wished to report to Trinidad and Tobago every Thursday. I understand there is a mock session which is prepared by the public defender's office, and this is to keep our public defense counsels sharp. It is my hope to probably join one of these mock debates soon, mock trials soon, and see if I still have what it takes to be a defense counsel. I don't know, I guess time will tell. Madam President, we have secured $100 million with respect to the area of evidence. There has also been significant improvement. We have empowered the police with the capacity to improve forensic investigations. We secured a $100 million contract from the Chinese government for UDICA to construct a new lab. This would certainly benefit the TTPS to conduct forensic analysis on firearms, which obviously reduces the workload on the forensic department. Madam President, we have also hired DNA custodians, so that's how we're improving the people, machinery, the DNA database ready, and procurement of 15,000 DNA kits to initiate sampling for the DNA database. And of course, the law, as I said, plant and machinery.
Minister, you have 5 more minutes.
Thank you, Madam President. In the area of family law as well, Madam President, the family, we understand, is the single most important influence in a child's life. From their first moments of life, it is very crucial. So what our government would have done, we created the Child Protection Unit of Trinidad and Tobago. This is the CPU unit, Trinidad and Tobago, arm of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service was established to investigate matters of sexual offense and different types of abuse that our children may face. We created dedicated courts throughout the length and breadth of Trinidad. That's dedicated children's court to assist our young ones, using, of course, a rehabilitative and less punitive approach when it came to our children. Madam President, what we also have, the family court deals with specific family matters at a high and magistrate court level and is less adversarial, and therefore, again, we advocated for the continuation of the family court. Family and Children's Division Act of 2016 also makes jurisdiction for all family matters and children matters exercisable in the division to be heard. So that was yet another improvement for us. Madam President, in the area of domestic violence, on September 30th, I will repeat what my Prime Minister posted. Our Prime Minister stated on a Facebook post, as I am calling on all men of our republic to treat women like the sisters, daughters, and mothers who are deserving of our love and respect. In recognition of the role of women in society, what our government would have also done is bring significant improvements to our domestic violence legislation. And Madam President, this is just to name a few of the things that we have done in our ministry. In some of the earlier contributions to Senator Jillian John, Senator Lyda, all I can say in their ranting about the government's poor decisions relative to Petrotrin, relative to the port, all I can say in this PNM government, what pass you in the day, you mustn't take flambeau to look for in the night. What you can't see in the day, why take flambeau to look for it in the night? So this PNM government, when we see something is wrong, we will do what is necessary, even if it is making unpopular decisions, because we're not going to take flambeau to look for it in the night. Senator, Madam President, I believe that as we move into another fiscal and with digitization, youth and agriculture being some of the focus of this government, the Office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Legal Affairs, we will continue to digitize. We will continue with our legislative agenda to facilitate the key areas and continue to innovate in an effort to improve the ease of doing business in Trinidad and Tobago, and certainly to improve the lives of all of our people in Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you, Madam President, for the opportunity to contribute.
Honorable Senators, before I call on the next speaker, permit me to congratulate the Minister in the Office of the Attorney General and Legal Affairs.